things are not going to be end of the world chaos and all of us fucking die and human beings, the zombies are going to come and all the above. But there's going to be some fucked up shit. There's going to be some no gas, no fucking milk and butter, heaven forbid. Oh, bread and milk. I'm sorry, bread and milk. There's no bread and milk on the shelves. There's no fucking gas at the gas pumps. Maybe even the water stops working for a week or two. But ultimately, everything will be just fine. It'll be all good. Because we're strong in this country, y'all. This country was built on jack of all trade, fucking frontiers folks that would go across, fight, and work their fucking hands to the bone to build something to give to their kids. I mean, these motherfuckers probably even sat on a boat for months and shit in a little can over in the corner in the fucking dark for months just to get to this fucking country. Don't fucking forget that. I mean, if you forget what it takes to build what we're fucking pissing away, then fuck you. And I believe that from the bottom of my heart. Fuck you. It took a fucking hell of a lot to build this whole idea that is America. And the fact that we are letting it fall through our fingers is fucking pathetic on our parts. I want to make just a call, a shout out to my fucking generation. My generation, the Gen Xers, the whole generation is essentially the fuck you generation. I mean, we are. Think about it. We are the fuck you generation. Now, a whole bunch of revolutionary motherfuckers, they don't get talked about on the news because guess what? They're scared to fucking death of Generation X. They saw how we grew up, how we were rebellious as fuck, how we were uncontrollable. Just thinking about the possibilities of all of that generation is stepping into leadership roles now. I've got my Mr. Burns. It's exciting. Things are taking place right in front of me that I honestly, I didn't think that we had it in us, but I'm not accepting that anymore. I'm thinking that we will go around and we will round up the whole fucking bunch of them and put them all in prison. And before we let out the individuals in prison that are there wrongfully, we're going to let them stay in prison with these politicians and police officers that would otherwise shoot you when you're on the fucking ground or come up behind you and kick you in the fucking head when you're like this with your hands behind your back. I mean, these motherfuckers need to be in prison with the population just for a little while. That's gonna stop this shit real quick and in a hurry. When some buddies hear about, oh, their police buddy that fucking killed some dude in the fucking back of the head because for whatever, he made the motherfucker chase him for a fucking block and now he's out of breath. Blow, I'll teach you. Oh, it's all an accident. I'll get swept under the rug. As soon as that guy goes to fucking jail and gets hit in the fucking face with a sheet full of goddamn soap, fucking whatever pieces that could be found that is hard, and just beat the fucking shit out of and left there. And once the media shows that bloody pile, I'm fairly certain that the whole police brutality and if that's done to a politician, heaven forbid that is Hillary Clinton as the fucking bloody pile. I mean, we don't want to see our first to be woman's president or could have been, would have been. That's what she's going to always be, is a could have been, would have been. You don't get dirty like she is and win. You don't accept that. in your world. As soon as you accept that, you're letting in all kinds of nasty things through the door. That's exactly why Jesus was trying to teach about this whole thing about forgiveness and not letting on to hate. And it goes right back with this whole empath thing and the Jedi. When you really feed into the dark side, you start being drawn into it, and you will start contributing to the situation around you. You'll start putting evil politicians in office. You'll project that to be acceptable in your world. You think about there being one universe, but there are multiverses. There's a universe for each one of us. That's how special human beings are. We have our own universe, and we're able to create it as we go through our experience. The thing that I can help you with that really fucking helped me to break through this whole ego driven fucking nonsense that is my life, when you accept that Jesus didn't ever really go and tell people, hey, you must do this. This is exactly what you have to do. He gave people the opportunity to make these decisions themselves. Obviously, he led by doing things and blowing their fucking minds, and that's what you have to do. You have to live your life and blow people's fucking minds. Because once you do that, then, you're going to be able to encourage them to do much of the same thing. And that's what Jesus was able to do. He gave them an opportunity to make the choice themselves. God gives you the opportunity to make the choice yourself. They don't ever get upset or heartbroken or fucking, discouraged. They don't get angry at you for making the decision otherwise against what they would project it to be. So why, as a human being, should I or you or anyone else feel that you are better than Jesus, better than God, and you can get pissed off at those people for not doing the things that you want them to do, that you otherwise would feel better about? It has nothing to do with you. It has to do with them. And God and Jesus accept that. And when you accept that, you're going to have so much weight off your shoulders. As an empath, you're not going to worry about those people's feelings, that you're feeling. You're going to instantly have a block. You're not even going to have to really worry about projecting this field around you. All of us have a toroidal field around us, okay? It's all centered from our heart. It's much like the magnetic field around the earth. And we live in harmony with that field and with the earth. So we are tied in with it. The field is all around us, and we have another field around us. You have the ability as an empath, as a Jedi, to project a larger field once you are capable of love, having a bigger heart per se, because that field is centered around your heart. If you're a terrible human being, you generally will have a smaller field. If you're one of those just light beings that can honestly walk into the room and change the way things are being said, change conversations, put people's day in a whole new perspective just because you walked into the room, you're getting somewhere. You've got a bigger toroidal field. You're able to project your thoughts and your energy onto others at that point, because they may still have their field around them, but yours is overtaking all of the rest. It's much like the way that radio signals work. So you may have one very large, local station that has been on for years and years and years and years, and you hear it just fine on this radio station. But all of a sudden, and we'll say this is like in Marietta, okay? Marietta outside of Atlanta. Now all of a sudden you have a radio station that opens up shop deadbeat in Atlanta, and they fucking have full blast, even more power, more all the above, and they're on the same frequency as you, roughly the same station. So they start interfering with the other radio station. You hear that, on your radio. That's what's going on in a human scale. You're able to interfere with those vibrations, those transitions that are taking place. That's also what's going on in the world around us as far as the electronics and what have you. They're interfering with your fields. So if you don't understand how all that stuff works, go and look it up. You can project more energy off of you, and as the Jedi do, these are not the droids you're looking for. You can ultimately change people's minds through just telling a story. It's funny how you can always have the right things to say for the right person to understand. And the one thing that comes as an empath is you got to read these people first, and you got to understand them. You got to feel for them. You got to do some kind of goofy psychic type stuff and feel them out, understand who they are. Sometimes you can't do that by just having them sit in front of you. And a lot of the times people will put up blockers and have otherwise, not want you to see what you're trying to find. That's generally how people are. The one thing that you can do is put yourself in situations where they